That day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't want to go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Oh, hold my beer.
Hello, everyone. This is Pinky, the housewife, and I'm coming to you live. Today is Friday, November the 22nd. I'm back in town, guys. I've been out of town for a while, and plus I had a lot of stuff going on. But I'm back in town. Everything I needed to accomplish, I did. I'm proud of myself. My husband is proud. Yes, I did a boss move. I made boss decisions. Yes, I did. Yes. Whew. Whew. I'm happy. Okay. Happy. Let's get on to this. Sean P. Diddy comes. Brother Love. Puff Daddy. Yes, let's get on to that. But everything on this channel is covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And it's alleged, and it's my opinion only. Okay? And this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, because we all need some entertainment, but we need to be learned. We need to learn educational wise. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, guys, y'all need to come on into the Pink House and hit the button and everything. Just hit the button coming in, because I'm not going to wait on nobody. I got things to do. I got the report. Okay. P. Diddy is at the courthouse. Let me see. Let's go ahead and show live right now. I told you I don't have time to be waiting on people. I don't have time to wait on y'all. I ain't got time for this foolery. Let's see what's going on, because he had to be in the courthouse. Let me see what's going on right quick. He had to be in the courthouse today, Friday, today. He was there Tuesday for an emergency meeting. Right, P. Diddy is fighting to get out of jail. Yes, he is. He's been fighting to get out of jail for the longest. I do too. Let me say hello to my co-host, and she's a content creator herself. She's doing great. That is Miss Black Titanic. Black Titanic, if you like, I can drop the link for you if you want to come on up to, so we can decipher this together. If you want to come up, just put yes. Just hit me. Just say yes, and I drop that link for you. And that link will be only dropped for Black Titanic right now, but I will drop it later for other people. But we are going live. This is live from the courthouse, so we cannot interrupt what's going on there. Okay.
Can you type
Let me
that?
see. Let's see. Like to sense, hope the victims are healing. I do too. You want to come up? Just let me know, BT. Tell you what, I'll drop the link if you want to come up. Just put yes or okay or something, and I'll go ahead and drop it. Because I don't want to drop it unless you want to come up. This is only for you. So we're seeing what's going on live at the courthouse. I missed it last Tuesday because what did I have going on? I had something going on Tuesday. The family did show up for the court today for their father, to support their father. They did not show up on Tuesday. Only reason I'm talking because there's no audio going on right now. They did not show up on Tuesday for that emergency hearing about all his criminal activity that he's doing behind the bars. But they did show up today because that was an emergency hearing. Let me see what's going on right now. I'm gonna pull it down to see why it's spinning. Okay, here it is. This is a bail hearing for P. Diddy trafficking indictment, live analyst. This is with Law and Crime Network. This information will be down in my description box below the video. And the credit goes to Law and Crime for this video here, this live video. And you can see that it's live. The chat is moving. This is a moving chat, guys. It's moving fast. So this is live as we speak. I'm not sure whether they're waiting on the family right now to come out of the courtroom, the courthouse. Sean, when he showed up today, he still had on that tan jumper. You know, they give you that tan outfit so you can look like everybody else. You don't get no $1,000 shirt to wear and $10,000 pants and red bottoms. You get a jumper. And probably other people had that jumper on too. So he wearing hand-me-down clothes. Okay. People just coming out the van. One person just stepped out. It was a male. I couldn't tell who it was. So this is the family coming out of the van. That looks like one of the daughters. Looks like one of the twins, I want to say. That looks like Mama Combs and the twins. And no, that's not Mama Combs. That's the twins. And the other sister, I think that's the other sister in black, but the twins are in white coats. Yeah, that's Mama Combs. I couldn't tell who else came out.
I don't know.
It looks like it's cold there because it's cold here. It looks like it's cold in New York right now. This is from today. This is a live chat going on, guys. And actually, it's still going on now. No, it's not. No, this was showing 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, I was asleep. I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. It looks a little cold there. I know if it's cold here, it's cold there. He's been fighting to get out of jail. This was because he tried twice, bail 1, and then he tried again, bail 2, didn't work. Then he was in jail on Tuesday 3 times, and then he's in jail again 4 times. But But this is the third time for bail hearing. Tuesday emergency meeting was, they was trying to turn it into a bail hearing, but basically he got red because all the criminal stuff he was doing in the jailhouse behind bars at the um, the DMC, Metro Detention Center. Maybe I'm getting. Yes, come over here. Everybody got on coats and sweaters or jackets. It's cold. It's cold. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, guys, when you come in, can you please go ahead and hit that like button? I got 11 people watching on Pinkie the Housewife with 6 likes. I know I just dropped it, but still. So please hit the like button coming in. And then let me see how many people I got on Pink Global. Give me 1 second to pull up and see. Okay. Let me, this is live, guys. don't know why that was like that. I hope y'all heard me when I was saying that. We are talking about Sean P. Diddy Combs. He's back in court today while judge consider bail bid. And let me tell you a little about that bail bid. On that bail bid, on Tuesday when they was in court, his attorney brought up the fact, his counsel brought up the fact that someone else that was arrested after Sean, but recently, they was recently arrested, but after Sean was arrested and behind bars, P. Diddy, that his name is Mike Jeffrey. Okay. His case is in the Eastern District of New York. Okay. He's the former head of, I think it's Abicron or something like that, or Abicron Fitch, one of them. But anyway, he's the CEO. He's the head. But anyway, I hope he was arrested on similar charges. He was arrested on SEX charges and trafficking recently, after Sean Diddy Combs was already in jail for similar charges. But the difference, okay, he was able to make bond. He was released on bond, which is a $10 million bond or bail, whichever. $10 million bail. His lawyers made that argument and he got released. Now, his counsel brought up the same thing Tuesday in the courtroom, that if he was able to make bond and get out, why can't his client do the same thing, get out? You see what I'm saying? Why can't his client get out? Well, the judge says for him, that's a good argument. Why don't you make that on Friday? That's a good point, to make that on Friday. Make that point on Friday. So we'll see whether that is going to be made on Friday. Okay? Hi, Justice. Those are the fire department, police, whatever. That's in New York City. That's why y'all hear all that noise. I'm going to mute this sound. Hi, Justice. I'm going to mute that sound. That's all the noise in New York. Hi, Justice. Thank you for being here, Justice. And we're covering, this is live coverage of what's been going on today, which is Friday, November 22nd, with Sean P. Diddy Combs. When he was in court on Tuesday, that emergency hearing, they set another court date for today, which is Friday, the 22nd. So here we are. Here we are. Okay. And blessings to you too, Justice. What they on purpose didn't mention, Diddy intimidated witness, threatening folks and doing other crap while in custody. Yes, he did. You're right. I did a video on that. Here it is right here. Breaking news, Sean Combs continue his criminal operation behind bars. Yes, I did that. I dropped that yesterday. It happened on Tuesday that they had him in court for it because his attorney had already talked about the fact that, and this is live, all live coverage, everybody. But his attorney had, the judge had already asked his attorney allegedly did you go over things with your client, Sean Diddy, the Diddler, about when you locked up or released on bail, anything like that? They go over things that you can't do. You can't be with felons. You can't have a firearm. You can't have no drugs, no alcohol, no this. And at a certain time, you can't contact the witnesses and all this here stuff. And he decide he's Sean Diddy Combs. He's going to do what he want to do. So yes, he was contacting people behind bars. Yeah. But it was 8 inmates. I did have that. Let me see, can I pull that up for you? Just give me 1 second. I'm going to try to pull that up and show you all. Trying to figure out where I had it at. Let me see. Oh, here it is. I'm trying to get it pulled up so we can watch that. Well, you know what? It's already in my video. Let me just pull my video up. Okay? It's already in my video. I just pulled my video up. Yeah, he's going to be fighting for a long time to get out. While we're still waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and pull that video up so I can show it to you. And make sure you all hit the like button when you're coming in. Okay. He got his sons put here doing his dirty work as well. Yes. Yes, you're right. That's one reason I believe they didn't have to give up their passports. Only the females in the family. Let me pull up that video. That was the video I did last night. Let's see. I'm going to get it pulled up. And while we're waiting on that, this is it. Here it is. Okay. While we're waiting on that, guys, let me go ahead and show you this, what you was talking about, Justice. I'm going to bring that up. I'm wondering if the judge is learning his way, learning his way as where he lived if out on bail, so worried girls, the victim of his mom, if his man touched ground again. I don't know. Let me just move this for 1 second, guys. I'm just going to move this so I can bring up the other thing I want to show. Just give me 1 second. On that video I did last night. This is the one I did last night, and it's going to talk about the, it's going to talk about what he did and what they, about court on Tuesday. I think here it is.
What they're accusing Combs.
So, but here we go, guys. I mean, make sure this turned up.
Here in the U.S. tonight, and Sean Diddy Combs, what federal prosecutors are now saying tonight, what they're accusing Combs of doing from behind bars. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos tonight.
Tonight, federal prosecutors accusing Sean Combs of relentless efforts to corrupt witness testimony and subvert his criminal case from behind bars. Almost immediately after arriving at the federal jail in Brooklyn, prosecutors say Combs started using telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates to call people not on his approved contact list. Prosecutors alleging Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. An October call made between Combs and one of his adult sons, prosecutors allege, provides the clear inference that the defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense. And prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by his kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me.
David Combs has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges. He's being held without bail. His defense team continues to push for his release. David.
Stephanie Ramos here in New York. Steph, thank you.
So actually, that's some of the things that they're accusing that Sean Diddy did. And to be honestly, he did them. And his attorney is asking for all that information back. They gave you a copy, but they still want it back and everything. Okay. Oh, I tell you, let's go back to the courthouse and see what's going on. Oh, let me get it back. Here we go.
Said to the prosecutors earlier this week, be prepared to explain the differences between that case and Combs' case. So what we're going to be doing, and you see this live shot of the courthouse right now. Of course, there are no cameras in that courtroom, unfortunately, but we are going to be providing you live updates about what is happening in that courtroom. Law&Crime's Elizabeth Milner is in that courtroom. She's going to be coming out later to do a live shot for us as well about what she saw and what she heard. And we are also going to be taking your questions about the case, about the hearing. So make sure to submit them up on YouTube. Now, before I get into this, before I bring on my guests, I do want a little announcement for you. Little thing, some would say self-promotion. It's fine. I feel fine about it. I have a very special announcement. So if you're interested in a deep dive in the Diddy case, you have to subscribe to Wondery Plus, because why? Law&Crime will be launching a brand new podcast series. It is called The Rise and Fall of Diddy. It is launching on December 4th. And you know who it's hosted by? It's hosted by me. So yes, it's a little self-promotion. But again, if you want a full, in-depth, 360 understanding of the story, make sure to check it out. All right, I want to talk about this. A lot of different moving parts to what we can expect today. So I am joined right now by Law&Crime's attorney, their general counsel, Elizabeth Vulai. Not here to make sure that we're not in trouble. We never get in trouble, right? No, but she's been following the case. We love having her on. And we are also joined by criminal defense attorney Nima Rahmani. Thank you so much. She's a former
Let me just say this. I will be following that. I will be subscribing to it. It's The Rise and Fall of Diddy, Law&Crime. I follow Jesse a lot. I listen to his stuff all the time. So I will be following this too as well. I'm going to go ahead and put it on for you all.
A federal prosecutor as well. So happy to have you both here. Nima, I will start with you. The big issue, I think it's going to come up, is prosecutors. Why shouldn't Combs be released if Mike Jeffries is released? And they responded in a filing. We'll get to it, but what do you think?
Well, two very different cases, Jesse. And obviously, when we're talking about sex trafficking, you're talking about force, fraud, or coercion. And in Combs's case, we're talking about a lot of force. Now, Jeffries, there was an alleged fraud. The victims were told one thing, they'd be models, and next thing you know, they're participating in these sex acts. There was some allegations of force. Maybe some security didn't let them leave, but there's no video of Jeffries beating anyone. And the sheer number of victims that we have, I know obviously there's only one in this indictment so far, but many have filed civil lawsuits. So in my opinion, two very different cases. And you know what? People lie, defense attorneys lie, defendants lie all the time, but video doesn't lie. And I think if Onion looks at that video that CNN got in May from that 2016 beating, less than a mile from where I'm sitting right now, that is not someone that is going to be safe if released. He's a danger to the community.
Defense would say that's 8.5 years ago. Should that be definitive proof that he's a danger to others on the outside? I want to give everybody an update, and then Elizabeth, I'm going to go to you. As I said, we'll provide you updates from court. Sean Combs' attorney, Tony Rico, has come back into the gallery to speak with Sean Diddy Combs supporters. So apparently there might be supporters in that courtroom. We'll get a better understanding when Elizabeth Milner comes out to us later. And Alexandra Shapiro, who is another one of Combs' defense attorneys, is sitting reading from a binder in that courtroom. 4 prosecutors are in the front row. Sean Combs has been brought in. He is wearing the MDC jail tan uniform that we've described before. You probably see it in kind of these courtroom sketches. And he has hugged his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, and then sits chatting with his other attorney, Mr. Rico. Okay, so Elizabeth, let me go to you about this. The government has said with Mike Jeffries, he wasn't charged with racketeering. He's 80 years old. Sean Combs is 55 years old. There are efforts by Sean Combs to try to obstruct this investigation, reaching out to witnesses and victims, including behind bars. And there's not, but again, on the other hand, Mike Jeffries is charged with sex trafficking using force, fraud, or coercion, very similar to Sean Combs, but they say that this is superficial similarities and it's two completely different cases. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so as well. Obviously, there's a little bit of overlap there. They've both been indicted for sex trafficking charges in federal court in New York. They're both high public profile figures. So there's some overlap, but I think also one of the biggest key differences is that so far with the Jeffries case, we haven't seen any allegations of possible witness tampering, any obstruction of justice. I think that's going to be a big part of what the prosecution is going to try to argue. And it was also layered into the hearing that happened earlier this week with all of the notes that were seized as well.
Nima, we're getting some questions from our viewers, so I want to read them. Again, submit them on YouTube. The question that we first have is from Sandy Rivera, who, by the way, Sandy, thank you so much. I know that you always comment on YouTube. We really appreciate it. The question for Nima is, why did he request no restraints at this hearing? Just to put a little clarification on that, he had actually petitioned to not be in restraints, not only for this hearing, but the last hearing, and presumably for the hearings moving forward. It's interesting considering there's no jury yet, so why request no restraints?
Well, it's a typical request that defense attorneys raise, and certainly you don't want him to be restrained if you're his lawyers before the jury. That can be prejudicial. But right now, to the extent that he has been nonviolent in prison, nonviolent in court, that's something that the U.S. Marshals can certainly handle Sean Diddy Combs without restraints.
Question for you, Elizabeth. This is from Fishlock47 on YouTube. Are any celebrities expected to testify? Well, I don't think today. The question becomes, will they be testify at an upcoming trial, which is currently scheduled for May of 2025?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any celebrities today. I think today is going to be strictly about, his bail hearing. What are the reasons that advocate that he be kept in prison until the trial, whatnot. But I would be shocked if there's no celebrities coming forward ultimately at his trial. Again, we've talked about this is someone who's had relationships with celebrities, friendships, business relationships for decades. He's been in the business forever. There's going to be people who have relevant information here.
Nima, question for you. This is my question. So in anticipation of this hearing, Sean Combs, I'm going to turn it this way. Sean Combs' defense counsel filed something very interesting with the court. They filed this is what they write the court. They write Judge Subramanian. In support of Mr. Combs' renewed bail application, we have submitted to the court and the government a 20-minute video under seal. And we don't know what that video is, but they said the video was prepared by Connor McCourt, who was previously a foot patrol officer with the New York City Police Department. He was promoted to sergeant. He was assigned to the Technical Assistant Response Unit. Why do I feel this has to be about Cassandra Ventura? I say that because it seems that a big factor, a big point of discussion in this bail analysis, and there's been briefs back and forth, has been whether or not she is credible, whether or not her description of this relationship was, for example, the 2016 video of her trying to escape a freak-off wasn't an example of sex trafficking, or as the defense would say, we'll show you text messages, we'll show you other evidence that this is just a really toxic relationship. It's not evidence of sex trafficking or racketeering. It can't be used to justify detention. Would I be so far off to say that this 20-minute video under seal might have to do with her?
I think that's a good guess, Jesse, and we can guess that because the defense has said that this video is edited. It doesn't show the full story. It's a snapshot in time. I don't know what more we need to see, even if the relationship was toxic, tumultuous. Let's not forget, it was Cassie Ventura's bombshell lawsuit in November that really started all this. And the other victims who have come forward have told very similar stories of physical and sexual violence. So even if Cassie, Diddy's longtime girlfriend of more than a decade, is lying, even if you don't believe her, I mean, there are dozens of other victims who are telling the same story. It's going to be hard to disbelieve everyone.
Want to give everybody an update in court. Sean Combs and his lawyers, they're sitting at the middle of three tables. There are two U.S. Marshals who are there as well, and they're, rather than directly behind him, as is usually the case, they are on his sides. Nima, I'll just go back to you. Is there some sort of security risk that we should be thinking about here?
I don't think so. I mean, Diddy could have taken off, and we're talking about bail. You're really looking at two issues: risk of flight and danger to the community. I don't think he's going to try anything because that's a surefire way to be shackled the rest of the trial, and he's not that stupid.
Okay, well, in all fairness, let me just say he's also accused of reaching out to witnesses and victims through his family, when that became a central issue of why he's been denied bail. If that's true, if the prosecutors can prove that to the court, that's not great. That would not be the most reasonable thing. We'll get to that in a second. We have a question from YouTube here. I actually think he probably has the better shot making bail in front of this judge right now, because the judge seems at least open to some of the arguments put forward by the defense. We'll see if it works. Which brings me to this question that we have from YouTube. This is from Dr. Firewater on YouTube. Seems like a contradiction, Firewater, but anyway.
Interesting.
Will Diddy's life be put in jeopardy if he's released on bail? Public outrage or celebrity hit job? Is it safer to keep him incarcerated until cleared?
I think that's highly doubtful. I mean, in the case of Mike Jeffries, he was able to be released on bail. He's under home confinement. He's being monitored. You know, someone like Diddy, who has not just homes, but really estates with security. If he's confined to his home, I would imagine that's probably safer than most prisons within New York.
More people are talking about Diddy than they are Mike Jeffries. And more people, the argument would be, are concerned about being wrapped up in Sean Diddy Combs' allegations or anything like that.
It is true. It is true. I think with high profile defendants in prison, though, there's always a risk that they could be possibly more targeted, or sort of more attention, negative or positive, is paid on them while they're in jail, versus, you know, if he's sentenced to home confinement, he has a lot of resources and a lot of wealth still at his readily available hands.
Yep. All right. We had a question from Sean D. Cole on YouTube. Nemo, I'll throw this to you. What would be your best possible defense strategy?
Thank God I'm not doing defense work anymore, but I think the best defense strategy would be to argue that the sexual activity happened, but it was consensual. That gets rid of the force, fraud, or coercion. The challenge is if they do supersede and they add sex trafficking of minors, that argument goes out the window because minors can't consent. Now, Diddy is allegedly contacting witnesses, and there's probably a few ways that he can persuade them to either do a 180 or not show up at trial and testify. He can outright bribe them, pay them off through civil settlements and judgments. He can blackmail them. He can try to threaten them. But I mean, his best defense is for these witnesses to go sideways. That's really the only defense in this case.
All right. We have an update from court. Sean Combs' lawyer, Mr. Rico, says the family of Mr. Sean Love Combs are here. They traveled a long way. Judge Subramanian says, thank you for being here. Mr. Agnifilo, tell me about the legal pads. And Mark Agnifilo responds, the first time I saw them was Tuesday. Elizabeth, this feels like in response to the issue that happened earlier this week about whether the government improperly photographed potentially privileged materials of Sean Combs. I didn't think that issue was going to be decided today, or at least discussed today. I thought they were going to be briefing it, and maybe the judge would have to decide if there was a privilege issue later on. Actually, before I throw it to you, another update. As we sit, this is from Mark Agnifilo. As we sit here today, I'm not sure when legal was written on each of them. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Different members of the defense team were telling him to write legal on the pads. There's a photo of a pad without legal on it. Again, this is all in relation to whether there was a big sweep at the Metropolitan Detention Center and photographs were taken of Sean Combs' notebooks. And the question was, were 19 pages or other materials improperly photographed of his conversations with his attorneys about legal strategy? What was written on the pads? What do you take away from this?
That's right. So I'm not surprised that the judge is discussing it a little bit. The judge had said earlier this week that he will hold separate hearings regarding whether these notes could be actually ultimately used at trial in May, and that's sort of later on down the line. But he did say in a filing earlier this week, be prepared to talk about what happened with that legal sort of note that was on the papers and where did it go. I'm not surprised that he wants to talk about that, because I think a big part of what the prosecution is going to try to argue to prevent him from being released on bail is potential witness tampering. And what they said earlier this week is that there was some evidence within the notes of him, trying to contact witnesses through third parties, trying to get family members to post, positive things about him on social media. So I think there's a little bit of an overlap there.
And there is certain material that was photographed that will not now be used as evidence in this bail argument. The judge said, throw it out, throw out these copies. You're not going to be able to argue that prosecution to support your case. But Elizabeth does raise an interesting point here, Nima. The idea, and I think this will come up, was Sean Combs developing this social media campaign through his family really is centered around his birthday, to post positive messages about his birthday. There was this video of his family wishing him happy birthday. You can hear him on the other line from the MDC. He seemed to be happy. And the idea was he purposely orchestrated this social media campaign to influence a potential jury. And the idea would be, if he's orchestrating this behind bars, you can't let him out on pretrial release. What else would he do? Now, I'm curious your thoughts on this. Some would say, and the prosecution says, we have evidence to prove that was his intent, was to influence a potential jury. Do you think that's strong, though? I mean, we're not even close to a trial. Do you think? And also, he's a public figure. Doesn't he have a right to change the public narrative about what everybody's been saying about him?
Jesse, I'm as pro-prosecution as they come, and I believe that they have evidence that he's contacting witnesses, and that is witness tampering and obstruction. But to argue against a social media public relations campaign is really a bridge too far, in my opinion. If you're the prosecution, you got to kind of maintain your credibility. Obviously, there's the courtroom and there's the court of public opinion. There's no gag order or other order preventing him from doing this. So don't make arguments that not necessarily aren't nonsensical, that aren't really advancing your case. Focus on the witnesses and what matters, and you don't have to worry about Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and whatever.
Well, it was interesting because his son took over his social media account. His Instagram account was posting like music videos of his father and behind the scenes footage of his father. And we did a sidebar on what that might mean. And now we see what the prosecution is taking away from some social media posts. Okay, we have an update from court. Nima, I'll just start with you on this. So Sean Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, said, so it's clear that on November 1st, the sweep, which I had mentioned, the sweep of the MDC, they did not all say legal, meaning it was not printed legal on his Sean Combs notepads. The judge says, the pad you handed up to me, did it say legal on it on November 1st? Agnifilo says, I'm not sure. The judge responds, moving forward, make sure representations are true. Ooh, felt like a little bit accusing the defense of not being totally transparent, right?
I think so, and it's not the first time. Going back to that video from 2016, the defense said that DHS leaked it, and there's really no evidence to support that. And I understand that they're trying to advocate on behalf of your client, but Judge Subramanian, let's be honest, this is a Democratic appointee. He has a civil background, and I'm really surprised he's taking so much time to address this privilege issue. Obviously, the attorney-client privilege is sacred, but we're talking about 20 pages. Judge, take the documents, review them in camera and chambers, and make your decision. Why do you need briefing on this? It's not something that's rocket science. Any young lawyer can determine whether the documents are privileged or not.
We have another update from court. Elizabeth, I'll turn to you on this one. This is from the judge. Ms. Slavic, this is referring to Christine Slavic. She is the AUSA, the Assistant United States Attorney, the prosecutor in this case, one of the prosecutors. Ms. Slavic, what is the status of Mr. Combs' laptop? And then she responds, the laptop for him to review the discovery at the MDC. The idea is to preload the information he's allowed to have at the MDC on the laptop. There is a protective order. Interesting they're talking about this because one of the arguments put forward by Sean Combs' defense team is he doesn't have the adequate resources at the MDC to properly prepare for what is a complicated sex trafficking and racketeering trial. What is this exchange about, you think?
Right. I think they're probably pointing to an issue with privacy. And like you said, him being able to properly be able to put on his defense. You know, if he's someone who's in home detention, he can meet with his attorneys in fair confidence, you know, discuss things more freely. In prison, you're really not afforded those same privacy rights. So I think that's an argument that his team is going to be putting on.
Nima, I've got a question. This is from Sean D. Cole again on YouTube. Please keep the questions coming if you have a question about this hearing. If you have a question about this case, make sure to submit them now. This is with this being the presiding judge, meaning Judge Arun Subramanian, is this Sean Combs' last chance for bail? I don't believe so. I believe that he can go to the Second Circuit and had petitioned the Second Circuit, but then put it on pause waiting for Judge Subramanian to ultimately decide this issue, right?
Yes. So when you appeal, that really removes jurisdiction of the ability of the trial court to make a decision. So obviously the case was transferred to Judge Subramanian, but they'd appealed to the Second Circuit, which is the highest court before that appeal. But now what they want is another bite at the apple, see if the judge is going to disagree with the prior magistrate judge and district judge and actually release Combs on bail, which would be very surprising in my opinion, before they take it up on appeal.
Elizabeth, I'll turn to you on that. Again, the reason we know some of what the defense's arguments are is because I read the brief to the Second Circuit. They asked to put it on, they called it, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the legal term, abeyance. They put the appeal on abeyance and said, pause it. We're going to go to Judge Subramanian. If he actually grants bail, this is all moot, forget it. But, you know, do you think the Second Circuit would be more amenable to his arguments?
I think it would be a bit more difficult. You know, obviously, whenever you appeal a case, the appellate judge is really more prone to being guided by former precedent. It doesn't mean that judges don't overturn decisions. They do all the time, but they are more privy to be bound to prior decisions. Here in this instance, this is his third attempt before the hearing today to be released on bail. You have two prior judges who have said no, you know, for various reasons. So I think it would be harder in his appeal process.
All right, talking about the bail, we now have an update on this. So Judge Subramanian says, on the bail application, I don't have to deal with the Bustani case. The defense is saying there are extensive conditions proposed, including 24/7 security. What about the Fox case? Prosecutor responds, there was no RICO charge in that case. The judge said agreed. So now they're going through some of the case law that was debated back and forth between the prosecution and the defense. You know, Nima, I think what's really interesting, one of the arguments put forward, and I think this is, you tell me if it's legitimate or not, the defense is saying, you're just hearing allegations from the prosecution about that he's a danger here. They're relying on the allegations in the indictment. They're saying that he reached out to witnesses and victims. Don't you need to hold a hearing? Shouldn't you call witnesses to prove that? Now, it's not they don't have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. They're not trying to say he's guilty of obstruction, but doesn't there have to be more than just taking the government's word for it?
Not necessarily if the judge takes the government's word for it. And, you know, we've talked about Jeffries, but I think the more on point case, recent case in New York is Sam Bankman-Fried. Here's someone who was granted bond, started contacting witnesses. There was electronic evidence to support that he was reaching out to witnesses and trying to alter and change their testimony. And his bond was revoked and he was in custody all throughout trial. So I think that's the case. Look, I believe the government that they have evidence that these witnesses are being contacted by Combs or through intermediaries. They're not going to raise these allegations unless they have the receipts to prove it. So hopefully they do so. But I don't think you need a full-blown evidentiary hearing in a case like this or any bond hearing.
Elizabeth, you would agree with me that there was no reality where Sean Combs believed he was not going to make bail. The reason he was so cooperative with law enforcement, he surrendered his passport, said he was going to sell his plane, came to New York to be arrested, hadn't left the country, right? Even though he knew he was going to be arrested. It seemed to me he thought he was legitimately going to make bail, that he would be on house arrest for a year, 2 years till trial happened. I don't think he thought that this would actually be a reality, right?
I agree. And my theory is that all of these steps were taken by his attorneys and by his legal team to hopefully assure that they can show the judge, he's not a flight risk. He's put up this $50 million bond. He's prepared to put his home up for collateral. All of these steps he surrendered to his arrest. So all of these steps to put forward to try to argue this is not someone who's going to flee. He can be trusted with home arrest. So I don't think he anticipated this.
Going to that, Elizabeth, we just have another update from court. Again, we're providing live updates about what is happening in that courtroom, considering there are no cameras there. Trust me, I could go on and on about how much of a mistake I think that is. But the judge says, I want you to address the proposed conditions, meaning the bail conditions. And as we talked about, $50 million bail package, 24/7 home confinement, no internet use, no phone use, limited visitors, visitor logs. Prosecutor says there has to be some level of trust that the defendant will follow him. Here, he will not, meaning not follow the rules. He cannot be trusted. Consider his conduct in custody after the two judges' findings, meaning there were two previous judges, Judge Carter, Judge Tanofsky, who both decided that Sean Combs was not entitled to pretrial release, not entitled to bail. What do you think about that?
Correct. Yeah, that's a really fair point. The two prior judges have denied and said he's not allowed on bail. So when you have those two decisions against you, I think most defendants would say, okay, I need to be extra cautious, make sure I'm following all the rules. I'm not incurring any potential legal troubles moving down the line. There's allegations that, he has contacted parties through third parties. He's made phone calls. So I think there's a substantial amount of information there to show that there is possibility that he could try to tamper with witnesses or obstruct certain evidence.
Nima, one of the arguments put forward by the prosecution was if you take the allegations as true, he's able to use other inmates' PAC numbers to make essentially calls to people that are not listed on his contact list. If he's able to use three-way phone calls from jail to have improper communications, what the prosecution says. Is there any belief that he wouldn't manipulate a private security team that's supposed to watch him?
Of course, that's working for him as well. And like you said, that's an absolute rule violation. Can't use another inmate's PAC number, can't make three-way calls. And apparently he's doing all this. And when he was out, he contacted a witness dozens of times. So this is all evidence of obstruction. If I'm the government, what I do is I supersede, I add those obstruction charges, not necessarily because I think that's going to add additional time, but I think that's going to be helpful evidence for the jury to hear at trial that Diddy is trying to dissuade these witnesses. That's going to bring all that evidence in.
To show that he's guilty. Why would he be obstructing unless, of course, he thought he couldn't win this on the merits? He's trying to actually obstruct the case, influence witnesses because he knows he's guilty of that. That would be the argument. Elizabeth, we have another update from court. The prosecutor says his attorneys are enabling his flouting of the Bureau of Prisons rules. Consider the labeling of the pads after the fact, meaning they marked it legal after the fact. That's interesting. Even family members, and I said that the idea would be that he's enlisting his family members to create social media campaigns, reach out to people. The judge says, what's your response if Mr. Combs says, even if they don't trust me, there'd be 24/7 security? Prosecutor responds, if he can't comply in a custodial setting, he will not comply if released. What type of security firm? They suggested a co-conspirator, one whose phone was taken only the day before. Didn't know that. That's who the potential security firm is. The second suggestion was a defense investigator in this case. And the prosecutor goes on to say that investigator has been out contacting witnesses. Essentially, they work for him. This would be the defendant buying his way out. The judge said, you've conceded that Bustani's bar does not apply here. You've cited his wealth to release him, so he can't use it. We'll get to that second argument in a second, but if that's true, this is who he was proposing to watch him?
Yeah, it's a fair point. And again, I think if you consider if he's, let's say, confined to his home and home confinement, I think there's even more opportunity for him to be able to utilize the team and the people around him, whoever they're working for, to be able to work within his favor. And also, this is not somebody who's going to be confined to a tiny little studio apartment. He has huge homes, huge estates. There's a lot of room for him to potentially go about continuing possibly the behavior that the prosecution is alleging he's already been doing.
One of the other interesting arguments that I love to talk about here, Nima, and I'm curious if it comes up, prosecutors said there's a two-tiered justice system. Why would it be fair that Sean Combs has the resources and the wealth to turn his home into a private prison, and he should be out waiting trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges when somebody with lesser means wouldn't be able to do that and they don't get bail? Now, the defense says, wait a second. The only reason we're proposing such an expansive and expensive bail package like this is because of the very problems, the very concerns that the prosecution has. You say it's his wealth that's a concern. Well, we're going to show you, we're going to create such a package that alleviates any of those concerns. The reason it looks like this, and it's so expansive and includes 24/7 monitoring and all this, is because of what the prosecution said. You can't have a sword and a shield at the same time. You say he's wealthy. You say he has the resources to flee, to do what he wants. Well, we're going to use that to try to negate those concerns. Where do you stand with that, Nima?
Well, it's not a flight issue, but a danger issue, and no other defendant, and I don't think the Jeffries case is similar, would be released with these types of allegations. If we did, we'd be treating celebrities or folks with hundreds of millions of dollars differently because of their wealth. So I think that's a very strong argument for the government.
We have another back and forth that I want to tell you about. It's almost like the judge is listening to our back and forth, because this is what just happened. And by the way, I really, from a legal point of view, I really am respecting Judge Subramanian. He's challenging both sides appropriately here. This is what he says, Elizabeth, the AUSA, Slavic, the prosecutor says, we're not seeking his continued detention based on his wealth, but rather danger, risk of flight, and obstruction. The judge says, is obstruction your main argument? The prosecutor says, danger to others. So the judge says, so not from risk of flight? And the prosecutor says, we still rely on that too. What'd you make of that?
I think it's important that they don't forfeit any of the arguments, and I think they're all equally important. I do think I'm glad that they've highlighted the danger issue. Again, so much of this comes back to that video of him and Cassie Ventura. He has assaulted her on that video. He later admitted to that. So that's something that prosecution can point to and say, look, there's a possibility that could happen to other people as well. It's right here in black and white on video. So I think that's one of the more strong arguments. But I think it's important that the prosecution doesn't forfeit any of the other arguments, including obstruction of justice, so that they can put on a fair trial.
Nima, that risk of flight is interesting, because the prosecutors say he's facing 15 years to life in prison on these charges. He has a lot of incentive to flee. His response would be, first of all, my family, my livelihood is here. I'm not going to flee the country. I've been trying to sell my plane. I gave up my passport. I could have fled multiple times. I didn't. You think the risk of flight it works more for Sean Combs or the prosecutors?
I don't think it's a very strong argument for the prosecution. This is a style issue, right? Credibility is really important. And when the defense writes illegal on a pad after the fact, that's a problem. And if you're the prosecution, you want to save face. And if this is someone who surrendered passports, has been willing to sell his private jets, his family's here, I don't think the risk of flight is a very good argument compared to the obstruction and the danger arguments. So I would focus on those two. And obviously you don't want to concede anything, but really just focus on, because you only need one to win, right? And I think the danger is the strongest argument.
You mean you only need to convince the judge whether it's obstruction or risk of flight or danger? You don't need all three?
Generally, it's going to be danger or risk of flight, but the obstruction is important as well. So the standard is under federal law that detention is appropriate if there's no condition or combination of conditions that can guarantee the defendant's appearance at trial, and he or she is either a risk of flight or a danger to the community. Now, obstruction can come in as well, but it's typically danger.
Elizabeth, we have another update from court talking about obstruction. The judge says, tell me about obstruction. Is he listening to Law&Crime? Is there like something, does he have a microphone here or something? Tell me about obstruction. So he asks, he says, tell me about obstruction, prosecutor. Prosecutor Slavic says, he's continuing violation of the rules, meaning, as we talked about, what's happening or allegedly happening in jail. The judge says, is running a PR campaign obstruction? meaning the social media posts. The prosecutor says that's not what we have here. Rather, it's his concerted effort to impact the integrity of these proceedings. Prosecutor says, he says, I want to reach the jurors. I need only one. Ah, so that's so interesting. That's the first time that we actually maybe heard, they said they would have evidence to prove that this social media campaign was about influencing the jury. So he allegedly, there's some communication from Sean Combs where he talks about, I only need one, meaning only need to convince one juror. The judge says he's not permitted to engage in any he's not permitted to engage in any conduct to impact the jury pool. That's what the judge is asking. Prosecutor says his intent, it's obstructive conduct. He's violated the so-called gag order. He's the one who asked for that order.
Right. I think the social media argument is a bit of a tough one to make. Again, as we've noted, he's a massive public figure. People have continued to post on social media about this, people in his family and his friends. So I think that's a bit of a reach. But I think it's important that the prosecution highlights, again, any sort of evidence where he specifically states, I'm trying to target potential jurors here. He might have said that with social media, a little bit tougher. But I think the stronger points lie in if there's any sort of evidence that says he's trying to potentially contact witnesses through third parties to, what prosecution is claiming, alter their testimony, give sort of more favorable testimony. I think that's what's going to be more persuasive to the
By the way, that gag order, I thought that was about not releasing grand jury materials or information that hasn't been disclosed to the public. I mean, if you're posting about your birthday, you're posting your music videos, I don't feel that the gag order applies, no?
I don't think so either. Again, unless they're commenting on something specific regarding the alleged details of this case or the indictment or anything like that. I think general content posted on social media, I think it's expected even in cases involving more private figures, let alone someone this public.
Nima, do you agree about the gag order?
I agree. It's not within the limitations of the order. And again, this is just not a good argument for the prosecution. I agree that him trying to influence jurors, that is, but just generally a blanket argument against a PR campaign and social media post, not good. No judge in this country is going to prohibit someone from posting on social media. Just so let's be honest, this is the biggest trial in the country right now, especially now that Donald Trump has won and his criminal problems have gone away. Nothing even compares to the Sean Diddy Combs trial. People are going to be talking about it. Everyone is covering it. Traditional social media. I've done dozens of interviews just on Law and Crime about it. So for a judge to say that you can't post on social media about your birthday with your family, I mean, forget about it.
Hey guys, I'm pulling up something else. His attorney was just outside speaking. I'm trying to see what's going on. No, I think this is from, okay, they say 11 hours ago. Let me just see.
He's doing fine. Dr. King called it the law of unintended consequences. So sometimes the more you push a person down, the stronger they get. And so he's making an adjustment. He had his family here today to support him. We really want to put an end to all of the clowning that we see on the internet. This is a serious proceeding with serious consequences, and all of us are addressing it accordingly.
Anthony, is it a racist proceeding, as Marcus said?
Nobody's okay with staying in jail for now. Okay, thank you very much. That's it for today.
What did he say? People are tired of the clowning. Wouldn't be no clowning if he's doing things he shouldn't be doing behind bars. I can tell you that. And let me just shout out some of the people that just came in. Let me see. Linda Gibbs just came in. Is that the same as Linda Gamble? Just asking. I would love to know. Is this the same as Linda Gamble? I need to know that. Is this Linda Gamble just changing the last name, or is this someone else with the name Linda Gibbs? Just a question. Put a yes or no in the chat for me. And then I got Justice here, Black Titanic, and TNT in here as well. But I do have a question. 3T here. Let me just see that person answer. Right, Linda. Ellen joined his friend who is already there hiding. Russell Simpson, I think is his name. Listen to this black man. For big money, he forget the people who Diddy hurt. Yes, he did. He even forgot all about them. He ain't thinking about them.
How's your father doing?
They ain't thinking about the people he hurt. They're just thinking about how much money they're gonna make or how much money they're getting. You know, that's it.
Any message to your father? How's your father doing right now? Are you hoping he'll get bail today?
Mm-hmm. You ain't thinking about nothing else. Okay, let me go back and see what else going on. Let me just drop my link too. If anybody want to come up, Black Titanic Justice, if you all want to come up and say something or get things off your mind about this trial, just let me know. I dropped the link for you. Now, let me just say this. If you have never been up on my live before, I will ask you to show yourself so I can see who I'm talking to. Because at this point, Linda Porter's daughter looked just like her. Yeah, Kim Porter. Yeah, they do. They look just like her. Just like her. Absolutely. No, I don't think this is Linda Gamble. That's what I thought, because normally Linda Gamble, when she comes in,
for those with an independent spirit,
Linda Gamble, when she comes in, she do speak. Let me try to find out where that's coming from. Just give me 1 second. To find out where that music, that ad was coming from. Kim, okay. Gloria already. That's Gloria. Gloria is representing a young lady that was SA by Diddy and some of his people. Yes. I got that video. I played that video weeks ago when it came out. So y'all can go back and find that video and watch it as well. Let me go back to this. Oh, I'm so sleepy, guys. Oh, gosh. You all just don't know. Pinkie is sleepy. Sorry about that. When I'm sleepy, I'm sleepy. I just got back in town, guys, yesterday. I've been gone for a while. You know, I've been doing a lot of looking for property and stuff, land and houses, not just doing house tours, but I've just been doing house tours too, looking for property and stuff, and land. So I did make a big offer yesterday. And I think my husband was shocked when I made it, because I made it right in front of him and our realtor. I walked out, threw my hands up in the air on the property and said, I think I said, this is it. I'll take it. Or something like that. I know I threw my arms up in the air, up in the air, going in a V shape. And I said, this is it. I'll take it. Or I'm going to make my offer or something. One of those things. But she was happy. I was happy. Yeah. Great views and everything.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have another update from court. This is from the prosecutor. This is devastating evidence for the trial. This is, again, the 2016 video. It shows why he cannot be released on bail. He is violent and is committed to covering up his crimes. The evidence against him continues to mount. We've learned of punching and kicking employees, partners. So again, that danger element to the bail analysis. I do have a question, Nima, for you. This is from Sean D. Kolb, again on YouTube. Any chance for a plea deal? And is there any chance the judge will accept it? I'll give my thoughts, but first your thoughts.
They accepted it.
I don't think there's much of a chance at all, because for there to be a deal, it has to be something that Diddy would accept. And when you're talking about these types of crimes, I mean, the sentencing guidelines are through the roof. Now, maybe he'll get less than the decades in federal prison, I said, if and when he's convicted. But this is someone that doesn't want to be in bail for even the next several months until trial in May. He's not going to voluntarily, give up his empire and concede this. By the way, let's go back and say why I don't think there's going to be a deal. Let's talk about Cassie Ventura, who demanded $30 million reportedly not to file a lawsuit when the statute of limitations was coming up in New York State, where Jesse and Elizabeth are right now. He only wanted to pay her $10 million. For $20 million, his whole life fell apart. Do you think this is someone that's going to admit to anything, plead guilty in court?
I agree with you. I agree with you. That seems to me the only thing. What happens if they say, we have evidence to charge your family with obstruction or other counts? We will not do that if you decide to plead guilty.
Well, family can be an absolute game changer. I'm going to be honest. As a former federal prosecutor, I put more than 1,000 people in prison, and oftentimes, people would plead to exonerate their family members. So I think that could be a potential game changer. But just as the current indictment is and state of the case with no other co-conspirators, I think Diddy's not going to take any deal.
And to be clear, there's no evidence, well, other than some of the assertions that they're putting forward in these letters about, using his family
French Montana, I think, know a lot.
Engage in improper conduct or contact outside of jail.
I think French Montana knows a lot. And just my opinion, I think French Montana, in my opinion, and it's allegedly, booty got snapped. He's one of them booty that get snapped all the time. Like this, pat, 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 whatever. Yeah, just my saying.
These prosecutors will go extremely hard, show him all sorts of evidence, including the video and all sorts of probing questions. So yeah, I mean, this is a criminal case. This is not a civil lawsuit. So.
He took the stand in the 1999 nightclub shooting case, worked for him there, but kind of a different case here. Okay, so we have an update from court. The judge asks Mr. Agnifilo, this is Sean Combs' lawyer, Mr. Agnifilo. Mr. Agnifilo responds, I'm going to have Ms. Shapiro lead us off. This is the other defense counsel. And she responds, he was not dragging her back to the freak off. The judge says there was dragging. Shapiro says, I don't mean to. Judge says there was kicking. And then Shapiro says he has apologized. Your thoughts about what the judge is getting to here?
Yeah, I mean,
before they start, wait now. He said he was not dragging her back. We all saw what we saw. This is some Donald Trump kind of move. You do some ish, and then you claim that we didn't see what you just said. We wasn't watching what just happened. It was all in our head. That's what we're lying. That's just like saying people didn't scale the walls of the Capitol and breaking windows. No, that was a peaceful demonstration where people got unalive, but that was peaceful. We all saw what we saw. Now the judge trying to say, I'm not the judge, his attorney trying to say he was not dragging her back. He was dragging her, but before he started dragging her, he started kicking and stomping her. And he grabbed her by the back of the hoodie and just threw her down like she was a rag doll. Did we not see that? Didn't we not see him pick up a vase and throw it at her when he was sitting in the chair with his legs wide open with that towel on? We didn't see that either. We didn't see him running down the hallway with a towel wrapped around trying to catch her. So go give me a break. Give me a break.
I mean, one of the things that Diddy had said when Cassandra Ventura filed her lawsuit, immediately, obviously, he denied it and said this was an extortion attempt. She was just trying to pull money out of me. Once the video surfaced, he was sort of backed into a corner, into apologizing. So I think what the prosecution's truly trying to get at is this is someone who will deny until he's backed into a corner. And I think what the judge is trying to pull is what are the potential reasons he admitted to it and apologized to it. Personally, I believe because he had no other choice.
Got a question from Alawani on YouTube. Will there be cameras for the trial at least? Nope. Nope. And nope. Very disappointing. No cameras in federal courthouses, let alone in New York, except maybe in exceptional circumstances. But no, there's going to be no cameras on the trial. That's why we're doing our best right now to give you a sense of what's happening in that courthouse, providing you live updates. And of course, Elizabeth Milner from Law&Crime in that courtroom. She will come out to us later and explain what she saw and heard. We have another update from court. The Judge Subramanian, says, what about the 2018 text messages with victim one about violence? And we believe that victim one is possibly Cassandra Ventura. Combs lawyer Mark Agnifilo responds, we have gathered more information about victim one even yesterday. I don't want to quote it because it's under seal and should be. It was consensual. Okay. So going back to what I mentioned before, Nima, what's today? The 22nd. They filed this yesterday, the 21st. I again think that the defense's letter to the judge about this 20-minute video under seal. So what are they trying to say? That everything that happened between him and, if we presume victim one is Cassandra Ventura, was consensual, and therefore that could not be used by the prosecution as evidence that he is a danger to the public?
Jesse, victim one does appear to be Cassie Ventura, and I want to raise an important point that just happened there in court. And something what defense lawyers do, they have to advocate for their clients, but I think it's shameful. You saw that Agnifilo didn't defend Diddy when it came to violence against a woman, so they put a female defense lawyer to do that. So that's pretty common in these types of cases. That's why Shapiro started speaking. But we're talking about text messages from Cassie to Diddy. And again, going back to her lawsuit, and I believe her, she said that she was forced to have sex with male prostitutes while Diddy watched, videotaped, and masturbated. So I believe what she's saying, and there's text messages that corroborate her accounts of what happened. She has said to Diddy that I'm a human being, I'm someone's daughter, you beat me, you kicked me. That's all in text messages, and I don't think the defense can deny that.
Oh yeah, that was provided by the prosecution as examples of what was happening, and then also he allegedly threatened to. This is what the prosecution says. Exposed videos of the freak-offs if she didn't do what he wanted. Now, you're hearing the response from the defense. I've got a question from Ashley Glass on YouTube. Will the Law&Crime channel be covering the case when and if it happens next year? We will do our best, given the circumstances of no cameras in that courtroom. So again, Elizabeth, this is a really interesting back and forth. Is there a possibility the judge will not make a decision today, or after hearing the arguments from both sides, in briefs and today, I mean, it seems probably more likely than not we are going to get a decision on Diddy's bail.
I'd be really surprised if there wasn't a decision. I believe the two prior judges were able to make their decisions pretty quickly. And again, this is a case where time is of the essence. I think both prosecution and defense are going to want to push for a decision quickly for their own reasons. So I'd be very surprised if there wasn't a decision. And federal judges are prone to act faster than state judges.
Nima, I'm going to you. Judge, update from court. Judge Subramanian asks, I don't want to quote from them, but you know the ones I mean. Again, it seems to be this information under seal. And Mark Agnifilo says, we are proposing an independent security firm. There has been mutually regrettable physical conduct going both ways. There was violence by this other person and by Mr. Combs allegedly. You're also getting a preview, I think, Nima, of some of the defense strategy when this goes to trial.
Pretty shameful victim shaming here to allege that Cassie Ventura was the instigator or violence when we saw just brutality
Oh,
there, right? Her
hey
being dragged
guys,
by her feet, her being
I am back. I just had to go check. But go ahead and let's finish watching this.
to represent their clients. So that's what they're going to do. But to attack Cassie Ventura and say that she was the violent one or the instigator,
Is
pretty
that
shameful in my
Queen?
opinion.
It's a
Is that
tricky.
Queen
It's always a
here?
tricky.
Queen Common Sense. Hello, my love. I hope you're doing better. Queen has been sick, guys, and I hope she is feeling well. Thank you, my love. Okay, we're listening to this because today was court date for, you know, that Diddler. Okay, let me mute.
Saying that whatsoever. Talk to me about. It's funny, Elizabeth. Talk to me about the idea here. What would happen if they let him out on bail and get pretrial release, and then he ends up doing, what the prosecution says he does? He reaches out to witnesses again. He reaches out to victims. I mean, I imagine his bail will be revoked, but does that put the judge in kind of a bad position?
I would imagine it would. Again, the judge is guided by 2 prior judges saying this is too much of a risk. We can't let this person out on bail. And if the judge takes a chance and says, let's try home confinement, and then that happens, I think that would be devastating. And that would also really affect the potential outcome of the trial. Again, a big part of the indictment focused on the element of control and power that he had. So if Diddy is able to exert that same level of control and power over witnesses to try to block potential testimony, that could be devastating for the case.
And by the way, tell me if I'm totally crazy here, Nima, but his team was pushing for a trial to happen as soon as possible, presumably because he doesn't want to be, in jail for the next 2 or 3 years. Risk it, go to trial. They might think they have a good defense, but if he's granted bail today, are we going to see a motion tomorrow, Monday? Let's postpone the trial. Hey, I'd like to be on home confinement for as long as possible before going to trial. Am I crazy to think that, Nima?
You're not crazy at all, Jesse. And I think the major motivating factor to push this case to trial so quickly is the fact that Diddy is in custody. And frankly, one of the reasons that people on the defense bar, they don't like their clients being in custody is not just preparing for trial, but oftentimes defendants will want to plead just to get the whole thing over with. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen in this case because there's.
Thank you, Queen, for coming in. Let me see that I missed anybody else. We're just trying to keep up what's going on in the Diddy trial for today. Let me see. If they lied, they played. Diddy hired people like himself to lie. Yes, he do. He do. Yes, he do. No decision today. This judge is weak to me. See, you're right. You're right. These Grand Rising Pinky. Thank you, Queen, for coming in as well. This is a different Queen with a U, not a W. Queen in chat. Okay. Thank you. We're trying to keep up with going on with this Diddy situation. Let's see what else is going on. And then I'm going to drop the link if anybody want to come in and have any thoughts about this. Because I've been going live for an hour and 24 minutes. And then I'm still going to pull up some more lives on it. I'm going to see what the other major news outlet are reporting on it too. Oh, Lord, I tell you, sensational. This is a situation because this man doing some devilish stuff. And he is breaking all kind of rules and think he's supposed to get away with it because he the diddler. I'm going to drop my link if anybody want to come up, and I'm still going to put up some more live coverage on it. It's the first time I dropped the link, so if anybody want to come up, you can. Okay? But if you've never been up on the live, I will have you to show yourself. Okay? Just to make sure I don't have a crock pot coming up. Not that none of my people are crock pot, but we do have some that be doing that on these other lives. I'm just saying. Let me see. There's one thing else I want to put it in here. Give me 1 second, guys. Uh-oh. Oops. Okay. I am trying to do something. Okay. Ooh, these people. Ooh. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I really don't. I know Diddy better get his stuff together because we ain't playing. Because I think, let me see. Hi, Justice.
Hi, Pinky.
How you doing?
I am blessed. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm
Good,
doing
good.
good.
Were you looking for rental property?
No, we're buying just some extra homes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just put a offer and it was it got accepted for
Uh-huh.
this is a property. It's out of town. I've been out of
Yeah.
town, and so this is a property. They had it listed at 999,009. What? Just say $1 million.
Yeah.
Well, so I made an offer on it, and they took it. So
Oh, okay. That's great.
yeah, and this what I'm doing is cash offers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they accepted that one, and so that one hurdle off. Now I got to do one more property here
Uh-huh.
at home for my daughter. So
Yeah.
that's one out of the way because I was trying to get 2 properties before the end of the year. We've been looking at land.
Yeah.
So this is about the same amount of land that we're on now, but it's
Uh-huh.
a bit bigger and everything. So it's just a lot. We got to do a lot. And my daughter told me something I did not know, that
Mm-hmm.
there was a church that's behind the property. What she called it, the church where the people come knocking at your door and stuff.
Oh, Jehovah Witness.
No, it's not that. It's not
The,
one of them. It's another one.
okay, that Advent church.
Some one of them. She said,
Uh-huh.
"Mom, that's a church behind it." I said, "I did not know it because the property is so big. I couldn't
Yeah.
see church. I even had my glasses on. Can't see no church." She said, when she did the aerial view.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh Lord," but I'm not worried about it because we got to fence all that property in. Half of it is fenced in, and half of it is not. So we got to
Yeah.
take care of all that.
Yeah, when you throw up your poster, say no trespassing,
Mm-hmm.
no solicitation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got to get one more, and I'm thinking it's going to be easier because I'm not looking in the $1 million range
Yeah.
more. So I can easily find another property or land so I can start building
Mm-hmm.
for her. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but that's it. And everybody knew I got land and property other places.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wish I
Yeah.
could sell it. Anybody want to buy some land?
I just sold one of mine. I had got it only for my oldest son because he loved the area that I grew up in.
Uh-huh.
But he passed away, and none of the other kids were interested in building on it or whatever. So I said, well, there's no need of me continue paying taxes that keep going up.
Right.
So I just went ahead and got a really good sale for it. I made 5 times more than I paid for it. So I was happy.
I wish I could. I'm going to sell some. I got 10 acres somewhere
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in Texas. I need to sell that. I've been trying to sell it for the longest. I don't know. Have I been trying to sell it? No. But my whole, I'm going to sell that. I'm going to sell that. But I'm halfway there. I just need one more property just for her so she can have her own place because she never had a house before. But she needs to get a job and grow up first. Mm-hmm. But so what do you have to say? But I'm still going to be living here. I'm going to be living in both places like we always do.
Yeah.
House.
Yeah.
So I'll be living here and in there, going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you have to say on this, the diddler?
I tell you, Pinky, I think this judge is gonna let him get out.
It's
I
serious.
really believe it because the judge is asking crazy questions. We don't need to know who would be security if he got out. What we don't need to know that. That shouldn't even be a question on the book. The question should be, can he get out, Your Honor? No, he cannot.
Well, we thought this was settled when he first, on his second time, his first time when he had that bond package.
Yeah, well, two judges have told him no. Two. Yeah. And here comes this judge, supposed to be the youngest of all the judges, supposed to be a judge that was under the Democratic thing. Well, hey, if he under that, then he might be kin to Hillary them and all them other friends that did it. And that might be why he acting crazy to me.
I think what you said, he's young.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
right is
young.
right and wrong is wrong. If this man is tampering, they got evidence. He on the phone.
But he may listen to his music. He may have been a fan of his.
He might have been at one of
Because
them
he's the
parties.
youngest. Some of them
He
old
might
ones
have
ain't
been
got
at one
time
of
to
them
listen to that
parties,
womp
Pinky.
womp.
He might have been at one of them parties.
That's what I'm saying. Well, listening to that music.
Yeah, getting that baby off.
So them older ones ain't got time for that.
That's
stuff.
right. That's
But
right.
he's young. So he may be into that crowd. So
I'm trying to tell you. Diddy might have some tapes on him.
Yeah, allegedly. But you know what?
Allegedly.
Right. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What about that? Shoot.
There's too many
sounds
questions.
like he's going kind of soft on it. It's
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
gotta slip it
Well,
up.
why did I mean the judge is he defending him more than his lawyers, and he's saying to the prosecutors, well, this other man got out on bond. What's the difference? Why he can't? Well, you
Yeah.
ought to know that. You the judge. You should already look that up before you even came in the courtroom.
Yeah, that's Mike Jeffrey.
Yeah.
He had a case. He was arrested after Diddy
Uh-huh.
was arrested.
Yeah.
On similar charges. And
Similar.
Right. His charges was SEX. He was
Uh-huh.
charged with SEX trafficking.
Uh-huh.
And so he was charged with that. He got out.
Yeah,
on
10 million.
$10 million.
Yeah, but he wasn't witnessing tampering. He wasn't threatening the witnesses. He didn't have his son out there calling people and jumping on Ray J and all this kind of mess.
One that's a debacle.
Oh yeah. So this judge is just acting crazy to me.
And then taunting the Fed saying, well, his son made a diss song. You hit the wrong house. He owned the house next door too.
Yeah.
Why would you tell the feds they own the house next door? Because they're going to get a warrant for that one too.
They probably have already been up in there. They may be saving that evidence for trial.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. So, but you know what? And the judge did say on Tuesday, why don't you bring that argument on Friday?
Yeah. Why are you helping them? Why are you giving them suggestions on what to do?
Right. If they ain't smart, if they one of the things like Marceau is not smart enough to know what he's doing,
yeah,
you trying to help him and bring that.
That's right. You're the judge, and then too, I don't hear you telling the prosecutors. You know that makes sense. Why don't you show me where he drug her like that again? Why don't you show me how he had them party? Let me see the tape. What did he do to them? Show me something, a statement from the man who said he woke up and was misused. He ain't saying nothing to help the state, and he represents the state. I'm so nervous. He gonna let this guy out. He gonna let him get out. He gonna let him get out.
If he let him out, let me just tell you this: it's gonna be crazy. People are gonna be upset and angry. There's gonna be people throwing cans and sticks. Yeah, because people are gonna be mad because there's a lot of victims out here. They ain't one or two. It's a whole lot of victims out here.
Yeah, and
these
the sad part is,
they got parents, they got brothers and sisters.
That's right. That's right. And the sad part is this guy has no conscience. He will do anything. And so you can't just turn him loose on these people who he has misused for years, some of them. Blackmailed them for years. They're intimidated. They're afraid. He threatened to do something to their baby and stuff like that. You see, Justin Bieber ain't saying nothing. I looked at him the other day. He got a new song out. He ain't saying nothing. This guy got a baby he might have threatened you. Don't want nothing to happen to your baby, do you? You know, he
Right.
got all kind of ways of saying what he want to
Right.
say, intimidating people.
Right.
Mm-mm.
It's true. Justin is a shell of himself. He
Yes,
do
he
not
is.
look the
Yes.
same.
Yeah.
This boy, this young man looks terrified.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Don't let Diddy come around. He looked like he ain't seen a ghost.
Yeah.
He run.
Mm-hmm. Ghost of Christmas past.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and he is not, he can't, I mean, he's going down slow. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we can see it.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he been traumatized, victimized. He looked
Yeah,
like
he has.
he
He
been went
has.
through everything.
On one of those tapes when he was just a youngster, Diddy and so many other these guys were surrounding him and just get him stuff to drink. He couldn't even stand up. You could tell that, they were just feeding it to him out the bottle, had him drinking out the bottle. You know what they was
You
going to
know
do to
why?
him.
So they can help him to do what they want to do. They
Exactly.
can victimize.
Exactly.
They can SAM.
Yeah, that's what it was for. I'm just afraid for the victims because this man is ruthless. He don't
Right.
care. He don't care. If you can mess with little children, he had children. You messing with children. If you can do that, you can do anything.
Anything. And then if you he have a habit of everybody get pneumonia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Out the
They get
blue.
pneumonia.
Yeah, out the blue.
Out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Like as healthy as you are.
Yeah.
You haven't been sick, and all of a sudden you got pneumonia.
You ain't never even sneezed. You got pneumonia.
And you ain't making it out of your bed.
I'm telling you.
Or
Mm-hmm.
something happening to you.
That's right.
Or it's the weirdest thing. Something happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everybody who has spoken out, everybody who has said something, what they saw, what they heard, what happened to them. Now, if you let this man out, what's going to happen to him? Where they going? What they
You
going
got
to
to
do?
remember, these people only start speaking up once he was
Exactly.
arrested. They didn't
Exactly.
speak up because they was afraid.
That's right.
Now the bad booger bear is
Mm-hmm.
locked up in
Mm-hmm.
the detention center. So
Mm-hmm.
now is my time to speak up.
Mm-hmm. And
So I'm coming out.
some of the people that he thought were supposed to be there for him, like he was on that phone call with his son and say, Jay ain't said nothing. His son said, no, Pop, he goes. He said, that's all right, let him roll now. But I'm gonna have the last laugh. So when he get out, those people that he thought was his buddies and should have stood up for him and said some good stuff about him, and they just said nothing, it's gonna be a whole lot of people with pneumonia. Watch.
Pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do believe that they're gonna all be suffering pneumonia.
Yeah, there'll be just a lot of sneezing going on.
Right. Or if they ain't suffering pneumonia, they're in the tub.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
ain't
Yeah.
had too much in their system, and now
Yeah.
they laying out flat in a tub.
In a
full of
tub, water
that
only
you
up to their feet. Yeah.
Right. And
Drowning.
then drown in
Mm-hmm.
the tub.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Or the handlers are gonna
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you notice a lot of them done left the country.
Sure is.
A lot of them gone. Just bloop, ghost gone.
They
Yes,
going
man.
on vacation.
Uh-huh.
And ain't coming back anytime soon.
Because he gonna get you. And he lot to have people over there where you at. When you got money, you can send your goons the way he's sending people. You saw on there how these people showed up at the content creator's house?
Right.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
I heard about that.
Yes. He got them going to, because he don't like what people saying about him on YouTube. So he got them going to people's house. Talking about, did you get paid to say that? Did you get paid to say that?
And then if not, then they want to pay you to say other things.
Yeah,
say
exactly.
Nice things.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that. I
Yeah.
said, that is crazy.
Yeah, the man taped them when they showed up at his house. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I say, Lord have mercy.
Right. Oh my
This is
God.
crazy.
This is getting to be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. I think it's best if he stay where he's at.
He need to be in jail.
You know why I say that? Because think about it. When he was locked on September 16th, okay?
Mm-hmm.
His birthday just rolled around in November.
Mm-hmm.
was his birthday. He had to do that birthday thing with his kids sitting around with that cake and his beautiful daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he always do the biggest bashes over the top birthday party, doing those birthday parties, doing those Christmas dinners, Christmas party, Halloween. He would have had a Halloween party. He would have had a Thanksgiving party ready. Thanksgiving thing ready. He had had a big Christmas party, New Year's party. At every last one of those events, there are victims.
Yep.
When I say victims, there are new victims, and there are recurring victims. Victims that tends to they don't come back because they want to come
That's
back.
right.
Those
That's
are
right.
victims that are demanded to show up and
That's
be
right.
there.
If you
And if
don't
you
be
don't,
here, I'm gonna expose what
right.
happened to you. And they
And
was
they send
drugged.
people to get you.
That's
There are
right.
people
That's
that
right.
come and pick you up and get you and bring you to those parties.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And so if you don't show up, you know not to show up, because if you don't show up, something can happen to you
Or your family.
or your family. Or you may get your car. You may not have a car in the morning.
That's right. That's
Something.
right.
Or
That's
you may
right.
not be, you may get pneumonia yourself. Or your family member may get pneumonia.
But you know the strangest thing to me is these so-called children out here bidding and lying and threatening and all this stuff for him. And no, you got to know, because they all adults. I ain't talking about the little girl, the baby, and the other two that's 16, 17, even though they got ears and they can hear. But these grown men who are supposed to love their mother. And if there's any possibility that you hurt my mama, Pinky, me and you ain't finna talk till I find the truth.
We're gonna be fighting.
Yeah, too many people saying what you did to my mama.
Right. And if you look at it and start putting the pieces together, it all adds up.
It all adds up. And they still running behind him. So I'm thinking that they really don't care about him. It's that money.
It's that money.
It's that money. Remember the guy, one of the kids say, Pop, he say, what you gonna do about his whip? Talking about his car. You know, they repo in his car and pop out in a lawsuit. Tell him 30 years old, take care of his own car. Can't he see what I'm going through? So all they want to do is that lifestyle. They don't care about what he did to their mother. They don't care about what people telling them he did to their mother. They don't care. It's that lifestyle. The love of money, Pinky.
The love of money.
That's right. The root to
and that
all
love
evil.
of money got them in a whole heap of trouble themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are facing time, especially the one that one or two of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that looks like him so much. Look like his twin.
That's the king now. King Combs.
Yeah.
That's the king.
Like Granny. Ooh,
yeah. And did you hear what's out here in the Hollywood streets from a man that, and from several people, but particularly what caught my interest, this man that says, I knew his mama and his daddy. His mama was a HO3 and a madam. Yeah. And the woman who walking around saying she mama ain't really blood mama. That's Auntie. But he call her mama, acting like that's mama. That's why they be kissing in the mouth and all that stuff.
Oh.
So, and they had a few of them freak offs together, her with them.
I heard that about the freak off, how she been at a couple of them freak offs with him.
Yeah, that's why she was getting that IV with him. They probably had just left in because that's what they do after the freak off. Yeah, but they say she not his blood mama. Say she was with the mama. They was all had their little madam thing going on. The mama was a HO3, the daddy was a gangster, and they was doing their thing.
Oh Lord.
And say she took on the role of mama. So that's why he all up in her mouth and stuff. Because it just don't even feel right for a evil person like that to be up in their mama mouth.
Right. Even somebody close like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting up and over. Oh Lord. Oh my Lord.
Oh Lord.
It just rubbing me. It's like rubbing me the wrong way. And you know what? Thinking of rubbing you the wrong way. You know that baby oil. That baby oil.
Yes.
The baby oil got stuff in it.
A horse tranquilizer.
Right. So it knocks you out.
If it knock a horse out, Pinky,
right.
knock you out.
I was told there's a they love to give women give people massages. They want
Mm-hmm.
to lay on the table so you can get a massage.
Mm-hmm.
And even someone said that used to be close with him. Don't let them give you no massage. The
Mm-hmm.
baby oil on you.
Mm-hmm.
You thinking you getting rubbed down with a baby oil?
Mm-hmm.
You knocked out.
Okay, rockabye, baby.
Right. And
You
you
going to
already
sleep.
half dressed now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
clothes on.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
But then you
Mm-hmm.
cannot, when you come in, you can't refuse a drink. If you
That's
refuse
right.
that
You gonna
drink,
get this drink. You gonna take this drink.
right. Now,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's forcing a person to drink. What if you have been an alcoholic before? What if you are on sobriety or
You
something?
don't,
Or
you
you're
don't
not a
care.
drinker, you take medication where you can't drink at all. There's
Mm-hmm.
people that take medication that they
Mm-hmm.
can't drink at all.
Well, you gonna get this drink.
Right. And that's putting your health at risk.
Yeah,
Talking
he
about
don't,
you
he
have
don't
to go to a party to put your health at risk
yeah.
or be part of the game or the club to drink. No, I don't want
Uh-huh.
to drink. No, I brought my water bottle with me. I got a water bottle right here. Look, got my own water bottle.
No, you gonna put that water bottle up. You at a Diddy party. You gonna put that water bottle up.
Right. Because you
Security.
got your own drink. When you come in, bring your own drink, and you know it ain't really no drink. It looks like you bring that Welch's cranberry juice.
Mm-hmm. And then his ex bodyguard say that they went to because some of the women got hip. They wouldn't take the drink. They open their own drink, so they start putting the stuff off in the juice.
Right.
So when
That's
you
what
add
they
the
do
juice,
now.
you still
Right.
getting the stuff.
Right.
Uh-huh.
They put it in the juice.
Yeah.
And some people know don't drink the juice,
No.
don't drink nothing. Don't drink nothing. If the men, a lot of the men know, and some of the men don't know because they want to
Mm-hmm.
come in too. Some
Yeah.
of them know that been there and part of the club,
Mm-hmm.
part of the
They know.
his
Yeah.
thing. No, you don't
Mm-hmm.
drink nothing unless there's certain drinks where
Yes, right.
they
That's
get,
right. He said
which
you
is
don't
stuff
touch
over to
nothing
the
on that
side.
side. You drink
Right,
off of this side.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fool with nothing over here.
Mm-hmm.
And even the bartender knows what
Yeah.
you not
Yeah.
drink.
That's right.
Because the bartender make sure you drink what Diddy wants you to drink.
That's right.
See that, man? So, oh Lord, this is really, really bad.
Yeah. I don't even see how anyone can consider out of all the stuff he has done to let him out on bail. I don't see it. He locked up in the jail and still doing dirt on the outside the jail. Now, if he
Still
on the
controlling.
outside, what you think he gonna do?
Right. He is still controlling people. And
Yeah.
all that you don't supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. And they know this. That's why I don't even understand this judge. I really don't. I really don't. And if he let him
He
out,
is
people
let
need to
out, there's
protest.
going to be a lot of people going to be running from the hills.
Yeah.
Not just people with money
Mm-hmm.
going to be running.
Yeah. The witnesses
Hollywood
gonna
going
be
to be
running.
empty.
Yeah.
Everybody going to be on their private planes
Yeah,
getting out
because
of
he's
here.
coming after all of them who didn't speak up for him, who didn't say nothing on his behalf. He coming. Those who separated themselves from him when he got arrested, he coming for them. He said, let them have their fun because I'm going to have the last laugh.
Right. But think about the regular people that he's been doing this to. They're going to be
Mm-hmm.
running too. They're going to
Yeah.
go undercover. Everybody going to be gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
Hollywood
I'm
gonna
going to
be
spend my last paycheck on to catch a plane, and we ain't telling nobody we leaving.
I'm
Just
telling
pack
you.
that bag and pretend like you just going to the
Mm-hmm.
store, and
Hollywood
you're gonna keep
gonna
it
be empty. Ain't gonna even be no bright lights in Hollywood. They getting out of here.
all of them gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Even the talk
indeed.
show hosts,
Yeah.
all of them talk show hosts
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be gone, and
Yep.
you know that you. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Oh my Lord. I don't know what to say about this. And let me say this. Cat Williams supposed to drop
Mm-hmm.
another
Yeah.
bombshell on
Mm-hmm.
Shay Shay. He got
Yeah.
another part 2 coming on Shay Shay.
I want to see that.
And I am ready for it. I wrote it down somewhere and I
Mm-hmm.
let me see, did I put it somewhere where I can remember? And I heard it yesterday. while I was in the car on my way home. He got another. Cat Williams supposed to be doing a new part 2, and people are ready. He said, "You think what?" Because before he did his interview with Shay, he was talking off camera, and they wanted him to hold until they get on camera. So it was a lot of stuff. Then when he got on, he didn't say that because he just went on about other stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that he didn't even say. And in Hollywood is still rocking from what he said.
That's right.
Because Cat Williams, when he say things, nobody ever, have you noticed, nobody sue him?
They don't sue Jaguar Wright either.
Jaguar Wright say things, nobody sue her.
Nobody sue him. They try to kill him, but they don't sue him.
Right, they don't sue him. She can say anything, her and Cat, nobody sue them. Nobody was talking about something. Do you ever say, I'm gonna sue you? No.
When Jaguar went up on Pearson's show,
right,
they contact him and say, take that down. Well, why do you didn't contact her?
Right.
Why didn't you contact her and tell her we putting a lawsuit on you?
Right.
Ain't nobody said nothing to her.
But they threatened the network.
Yeah.
But not her.
Not her. She the one that was talking.
Isn't that kind of backwards too?
Yeah. They know who to mess with. They ain't crazy. She got too much information.
She know everything. And
she know everything.
Things, have you noticed that tend to happen?
Yeah. She knows them people. She said that she was RA'd by Jay-Z, you know.
Right. Allegedly.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want him to come in this way.
No, Jaguar Wright said that.
Yeah, Jaguar Wright said it. We just tell him what we heard. Jaguar Wright said that, not us. But anyway, oh Lord, I mean, when I say that is too much, that is too much. Ooh, I don't know what to say. Nobody ever arrested her, and she be dropping big bones.
Yes, she do.
Dropping a bone collector. She be dropping big bones. She be dropping bones.
She dig up the whole cemetery and show you the bone.
Oh Lord. Oh my Lord. And she said, everybody gets sick. Everybody gets sick.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. She mentioned the fact that during the when Whitney Houston was unalived, right before then, hours before then, she gave
Brandy
a note.
Yep, I saw it. I was looking at it.
Yeah, I played it back and I watched it several times. Then when she gave it to her, then she hugged Clyde.
But the day before,
at her before she walked off and then they looked at each other. Right. And she read it to herself. You saw her open it up.
And she won't tell what's in that note. People been asking for years what was in the note. She ain't telling nobody.
But Jag know what's in the note. She said, and I can't remember what she said, and I need to go back. She said, what was that note?
Yes, it was something to the effect of don't trust him. Talking about Clyde.
Right.
Don't trust him. And say that the few days before this happened, her and Clyde had this huge argument, and her daughter was there.
Right. Right.
And then here she go unalive, and next thing you know, here go the daughter unalive.
And a tub.
And then the next thing you know, the daughter's boyfriend is unalive. That way, anybody know anything, they all unalive.
Right. That is true. Everybody's becoming unalive. Ain't that strange? It's just so strange how everybody in that circle, everybody that know you, they get the same faith. And then if not, everybody around Bad Boy Records, I think it's Bad Boy, all of them get the same faith.
Yeah, the ones that started out, start out that Bad Boy. They all gone, except Al B. Sure, and he was in the coma.
They didn't expect him to come out of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they did, he won't be coming out talking because he'd be messed up. But he's coming out talking.
Yep. Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx had the same fate.
Yeah. But see, Jamie say he the one called the FBI. He the one got this stuff rocking and rolling outside the castle. He contacted him because he said that Diddy did that to him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have a terrible faith.
Mm-hmm. Everybody was wondering how was Jamie sick. So he's healthy. He exercises. He don't be sick. What happened? Well, now we know the Diddler. That Diddler.
The Diddler. You gotta watch out. And some of them other big name people, they better watch out. Don't go get sick.
He coming for him. He's too vengeful for them to think that he's not gonna try to get them back. He gonna get them. He coming after them. You better watch everything you eat, everything you drink, everywhere you go.
Don't order no food.
That's right. If they can put
them places that bring it to you,
don't
order no food.
So you don't know who he paying to put something in your food.
Right, that is true.
And if he can put baby oil, put that stuff up in the baby oil to make you knocked out, he can put stuff in there to kill you.
Right.
Oh no, baby. I think I'd be like Ellen DeGeneres. I'd be gone.
Like everybody be gone.
I'd be gone. Did he get out? All right, see y'all.
J-Lo, is she still around?
She is just a nervous wreck. She's scared. She's
is.
been down there with the feds that called her in for questioning. She's scared. She done already gave her story and stuff. She's scared.
Yeah. You know what? Ain't nobody having these big concerts and all this big stuff going on. Everybody's scared to be around each other because they don't know who's snitching on who. And they don't know because people tend to get locked up in public. You got big things going on, like big award shows going on. That's when they may show up because they got everybody at one time.
Yeah, and they don't know who Diddy might be sending against you.
Right.
They might have used to be your friend, and now he done paid them to rub something on you, or drop something on you, or something.
Right. Or even rub some of that baby oil on you. So
I'm telling you.
Out, you easy to put in the car.
Yes, indeed. No.
And you see the last time Diddy was with Justin, how he rubbed him down.
Yeah, checking
him a pat down. Just got out the car. And just gonna pat the man. Down.
Yeah, and you can't say nothing about it. You can't say, "Hey, man, what you doing touching on me? What's what?" You can't say nothing. Just take whatever I do is all right.
Right. You can't say ninja, push back on it. Ninja, you better get your hands off.
Yeah, this is sad. This is sad. I'm telling you, I feel for the victims because I could imagine if you have finally come out and gave your story, and the person you done gave it about, who's evil and dangerous, is now free to walk. Oh no.
You better get your kids, your husband, everybody. Y'all better just.
I'm saying we're going into witness protection plan.
Right.
I'm changing my name. I want a face change. Everything.
Right. I just get on the plane and tell nobody in my family where I'm going. In my family, we get on this plane, and y'all. I don't tell the kids until the last minute. That's when we going.
That's right.
We just we're gonna go.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
And pay cash everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
Pay cash. Get all the money out of your bank and credit card and just pay cash wherever. Because you got
the Diddler looking for you.
Yep. And stay in. When you stop by our store, buy enough food to last you for a couple of weeks. And just stay in.
This is crazy.
Go live off the grid.
Yeah, for real.
Because I don't trust them people in Hollywood. They don't trust each other.
You can't. You can't when you got people participating in this stuff. Some of them want to be in it. Some of them sold their soul to get to Hollywood and all that stuff.
Right. Look at all that baby oil. Look at it.
Ain't that something? Look at that. Oh, and look at them old clothes all on the floor.
The police did that searching, but they didn't disturb the baby oil. Look.
Better not. You be falling out.
That is true. Or you be slipping and sliding and slide and
I'm
slip down
telling
in some of it, getting it all on your arms and
you.
hands.
Yeah. Then you knocked
You
out.
be passing out yourself.
Then you knocked out.
you be passed out yourself. Somebody come and walked in there, other people come looking for y'all. Y'all all on the floor, knocked out.
I'm telling you.
What happened? Oh, they got into that baby oil.
That's sad.
Ooh, my
Lord.
Lord. See all that baby oil? That don't make no sense.
Ain't that something?
And now he was arrested on the 16th, and he been in there. Let's see now, because the 16th, September the 16th, he was there through those last 2 weeks of the 16th.
Yeah, 2 months and what, 2-3 weeks.
Right.
Uh-huh.
All of October.
He
would have
So
had
he's
a
been in there
party
about
for his
70 or 80 days now.
right. And everything. He's learning to adjust now.
Look at his face though. If that's not demonic, I don't know what
That
is.
is. Those little beady eyes.
Yeah, that look like his head just swole up. ain't nothing but some horns.
He might get me for calling his eyes demonic. Oh my God, I tell you. He gonna say, that woman called my eyes demonic.
Yeah, me and Pinkie don't mean no harm, Mr. D. We don't mean no harm.
We don't mean no harm. We just don't know what we just trying to have a little fun.
Yeah, we just having a laugh. That's all. We don't mean no harm.
Oh my Lord. I tell you, no, we got to go get that. Who is that woman that we got to go get her?
Snap that picture of him. Yeah, snap that picture of him. It's 2 of them. Snap that picture. Oh Lord. We ain't mean no harm, Mr. Diddy. I promise.
Oh my Lord, I tell you. But we're gonna be good. Let me see who else is still covering this. Girl, this thing is a hot mess. This is a hot mess. I just don't understand how people can. Let me just see one other thing. Let me see. Somebody else covered it today. Returns to jail. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs returns to jail as judge consider bail bid. That's what
I told you. He didn't make no decision today. He put it off to, I think, Monday.
Yeah, Monday. That don't make no sense. So why are you thinking about it? Don't be thinking about nothing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me see.
Yeah, he ain't make no decision, so he'll have an answer then.
That don't make no sense. We don't want to hear this. We don't want to hear this on no Monday.
The evidence speaks for itself.
It said Combs have been denied bail 3 times since his arrest. With multiple
but he ain't been denied this time.
No. They got to decide. At least he's still in that detention.
Yeah, he's still at the
it
center.
says that he may tamper with witnesses. He's doing that already. They ain't already showed that. Man want his folder back.
Yeah, and they say inside the folder, he talking about reach out to them, touch this one, let them know, and all this kind of stuff.
No, we don't want to hear this. Talking about something Monday.
I bet you this judge started. This judge started with one income.
To get 15 to 100, 15 to life in jail.
Well, he won't get that if he keep on having a judge like this. He won't get it. But this judge here acting like he done sold out. Something going on behind the scenes with this judge because I don't understand that at all. At all. Well, 2 judges done said this man should not get out.
Sean Combs in the Metropolitan Detention Center, he had communicated with his lawyers through unauthorized channels, and that's those other inmates they call and then sought to run a social media campaign. Now, why is he running a social media campaign?
So people who get chosen to be on the jury Well, they would have simply,
Right.
oh,
Right.
he's
That's
a
what
father. Look at the baby.
look at
And
the baby.
hell,
He
you
needs
might,
to know to
we
take care of
know
his kid.
he ought to be doing something to the baby because he couldn't be with my child.
Especially if they're nobody.
All the stuff that I'm hearing, I don't even have to see it. Just that I'm hearing this stuff about you. You couldn't be with my child. But the mama probably can't say nothing. He probably got her hooked on something, like he had Kim, and
Right.
forcing her to do whatever he say do.
Right. And the thing about that is, I think they're too afraid. They're just too afraid
Yeah,
to say no, because otherwise they get beat and kicked.
that's
And
right.
just like Cassie was always kicked. Yeah, she couldn't get away from him.
Yeah.
And
he have people to hunt her down and all that kind of stuff.
you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do.
It's crazy.
Whew. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours and 7 minutes, Miss Justice. Oh, my
Okay,
goodness.
Miss Pinky.
You know what? I told my daughter, let me tell you something. Since I've been home, I went to physical therapy today, right? Let me just let everybody know I was released from physical therapy today.
Oh, good job.
I've been going to physical therapy for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you.
Yes,
It was
ma'am.
a wonderful line.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it was a wonderful line. And thank you, Justice, for coming up. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. Thank you, guys. Oh, Lord.
All right, I'll be waiting for us to get back on this here and find out what this judge gonna do.
Oh, and I do need to talk about something about Maurice. Yeah, I just haven't had time because I just got back, but I am. But let me just say this. The case was not dismissed.
Yeah, I know.
The case was not dismissed. I know what went on behind the scenes of the case, and it was not dismissed. Maurice was not in the room. He had left, but he didn't leave the courthouse. He left the courtroom. So he didn't hear, and they was waiting for him to leave. So he didn't hear, and he was waiting on the attorneys to go out with him. Yeah, because he was afraid of BT security.
Are you still blacked out, Miss Pinky, on this Love and Husband? What you doing? Are you showing it? Are you having it?
Yeah, I'm
Or
not blocked out. I just haven't. I just been busy.
I'm blacked out, so I'm learning through the content creator. So if you decide you're gonna have maybe a watch party or something, we can come to you and watch it with you or something, or however they do it. I don't know what they do.
I haven't been on social media for all week.
I know. I've been looking for you.
Well, it's been blocked out. I haven't been listening to nobody. I've really been really busy. If I was with my realtor all day, then I'm having lunch at night, and then we go right back out and looking at properties.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted and I fall asleep, go to bed. So I've been working hard with these people trying to.
I know.